Yo guys, what's up? It's me, Skurs. Welcome to this video. Today, I want to tell you all about the Holy Priest in Midnight, PvP-wise, because the PvP Season 1 has just released a couple of days ago, so it's the best time for you to learn as much as you can about this spec and class. So, I'm going to be covering what's the best race for this class and spec, what's the best talents, gems, enchantments, rotation, and yeah, just stick around, and I hope that I will cover everything you need in order to be an absolute giga chad with this spec, okay? Let's go. And by the way, I started being a healer back in the War Within Season 1, and I got 2.4 on my Holy Priest, and I got 2.5 on my Resto Shaman, so I think I'm entitled to tell you a thing or two. Nothing wrong with listening to me, you know? Anyways, what's the best race for priest healers now in Midnight? As you can see, I'm not some... Ooh, what's she doing? I'm not some Dark Iron Dwarf. I'm not some Gnome. I'm not some Tauren. You know, I'm a Night Elf. I'm a Night Elf. And not just for that animation right here. I'm a Night Elf because of one very specific thing. And it's called Shadow Meld. Well, good bread and butter racial, right? Shadow Meld is so good. Just imagine I'm in the game right now. I'm healing my mate right here. I'm having the time of my life. I'm healing him back up. All of a sudden there's some asshole warlock running towards me, or maybe some paladin casting repentance on me. What do? Well, of course I can fade, right? If I'm good with it, I can fade. He misses his spell and needs to cast it again. Well, maybe I'm rooted, I cannot get away. I'm just going to use Shadow Meld instead to absolutely cancel out his spell. He needs to first target me again, and his spell is cancelled out, so he needs to cast it again. So, if my mates are not completely incompetent, they will actually do something about this warlock before you cast the spell again. Or I can actually run away as quickly as possible around a pillar or something before the warlock catches me. So Shadow Meld is super good. It allows me to be a little bit more aggressive, or even have some failures in my positioning. So if this is like a panic button, right? Imagine, oh, you're in the middle of the arena, right? Accidentally, you over exaggerated. You tried to be too aggressive with the chastise. Oh, you got rooted, you got feared, and now they're gonna follow up all the CC on you. You know, before they can cast anything on you, you just Shadow Meld. You just Shadow Meld and hope for the best. It's the panic button number one. If fade doesn't work, if nothing works, you just Shadow Meld. Very nice. Bread and butter racial for you. This is an S tier race for the Alliance. But if you're playing as a Horde player, you want to play as an Undead, because Will of the Forsaken is still a thing. It's not as OP as it used to be in TBC, but it's still very good. It removes fear and charm. So there's that. I mean, what else do you want? A CC removal in Midnight? Hello? That's super nice. I mean, don't get CC'd in the first place, you know, if you use Shadow Meld correctly. But if you play as an Undead and you can remove your fear, that's going to be super good. So, Undead, S tier for Horde, Night Elf, S tier for Alliance. And any other race I would recommend, I don't really know. I would probably pick Void Elf if I were... if I didn't like Night Elves or Undead, you know, but if you want to be a good player, you got to play Night Elf and Undead. Very simple, very simple. Stop arguing with me. You got to do it. And now that that's out of the way, let's talk about talents. The good old talents for Holy Priest. Well, obviously you take the first row and you take the second row as well, because as you wouldn't, you know, be able to pick anything else, right? We got the good old Holy Fire, a very good damaging ability. I will come back to this later. Angelic Feather, really good, really good. And improved Flash Heal. Sure, take everything. This one is for free. Everybody has Holy Nova, but it's barely usable in arenas right now. Like, they kind of reduced the whole AoE effect of it. Like, compare this to some TBC Holy Nova. I mean, it looks nice. I don't know if it's even the same range, but you can barely get a rogue out with that, because everything in Midnight is so fast-paced and let's say more casual friendly. You know, if you get a rogue out with Holy Fire in TBC, he's basically cooked. His opener is cooked, so you win the game, right? But here everything is more, you know, recovery friendly. Maybe not casual friendly, but recovery friendly, okay? I mean, you can still use this if there's nothing else you can do, but it's not good damage-wise, it's not good healing-wise, so just try to, yeah, get some rogues out of stealth, I guess. Anyways, we got good old Psychic Scream, we got 3% Intellect, And we got the magic dispel, which is very nice. Not to be confused with purify, because that's only for your mates right now. So that's the magic dispel for the enemies. Leap of faith, super important if your mate is about to die. You just pull him over. Sadly, this doesn't work on the dummy. That would have been super funny. Anyways, we got PI, super good as well. 10% more damage on Holy Fire. And the amount of damage required to break my Psychic Scream is going to be increased by 25%. Let me talk about why this painful invocation is so useful right now. So, as you know, we got Chastise as a Holy Priest. We got this super nice stun, right? If I were to stun this enemy right here with my Chastise button for a second stun, I get 2 stacks of free Holy Fire, instant casts. Look at this, boom, boom. And every instant cast reduces the cooldown of my Chastise again. So it's a win-win condition, right? So, 10% more damage. In arenas, every Holy Fire, with this gear that I have right now, you know, I just bought my first Conquest gear and Heraldries. I'm doing around 40k a Holy Fire, which is super good considering we only got like, how much HP right now? 500k HP, 500k in arenas. So that's a good 17-18% of the enemy's HP just in 2 Holy Fires. Very nice, very nice. Remember that for later. We got Surge of Light, 8% chance to have an instant flash heal. That's very nice. And it helps you with your mana as well, because it's going to cost 50% less mana. We got Body and Soul, super nice, because it's going to increase your mates and your movement speed whenever you cast Prayer of Mending, which is one of your bread and butter spells. Look at this right now. I'm going to be moving fast through the whole game, and so are my mates. Well, MD obviously. MD is super useful to remove Bubble and Ice Block. And then Twins of the Sun Priestess. That's some weird name. So whenever I cast Power Infusion on my mate, I'm gonna get that same buff as well. So you never want to use Power Infusion on yourself. So if that was my mate, imagine this is some Fire Mage pumping right now, or some Warlock or something. I cast PI on him. It doesn't work. Well, it would be nice to show you that, but I would get the same buff as well. Does it work on this guy maybe? No, it didn't. Anyways, very nice to have. 20% haste on you and him is super nice. So now we come to a real banger, Mind Control. Mind Control is really nice, but it can be really suicidal as well. If you mind control an enemy you think is like worthy to CC, because it's gonna CC you as well. It's gonna keep you in the open. It's gonna, yeah, the cast time is mostly gonna be like 6, 7, 8 seconds if you don't get interrupted in the arena. But it's gonna put you out in the open. It's gonna, yeah, put you at risk to be CC'd as well. If you want to play with it, sure, do it, but don't blame it on me if you lose, because your mates will definitely flame you. So what I like to do is I don't take mind control, because it's high risk, high reward, kinda, and I can take 6% stamina instead of that, and that's 40k HP in arenas. So yeah, you kind of have to consider, do you want to take 6% stamina, or do you want to play a risky game with a potential high reward? I like to take the stamina, to be honest, because it's just such a big risk. But, you know, it depends on the game. Depends on the game. So just choose wisely, and yeah, don't mess it up. And then we got Psychic Voice, reduces the cooldown of Psychic Scream, very nice. You want to take this because Void Tendrils have been nerfed to the ground. There's no 8 or 10 second root anymore. It just roots whenever your Psychic Scream ends. But, you know, that's kind of useless to me. For a second root, first of all, it's not good at all. And when the Psychic Scream ends, I personally do not know if it still triggers if you dispel the Psychic Scream, or if you have to, you know, let it run out. I didn't try that one out, but I don't want to try it out because that talent sucks. So there's that. Next we got, I'm not using that, Surge of Light, because it doesn't really matter. Like, based on my missing mana, I mean, most of the games I'm ending the game at like 50% mana, so that doesn't matter to me at all. Like, sure, you want to kind of preserve your mana and not cast too many flash heals as a holy priest, but the mana pool is way higher than it was last expansion. At least that's what I feel like. I haven't had a game where I really got quicker than the other healers. So just take care of your mana a little bit. Don't spam flash heal too much. You won't need this talent. Leap of Faith cooldown reduced by 30 seconds. Very nice. You can always use that. If your mate is being tunneled right now, you just pull him over. He doesn't die anymore. Very simple. Reduces the mana cost of Purify and Mass Dispel by 50%. I personally don't take that. Because, you know, when do I use Mass Dispel? I probably use that once or twice during the whole game. It doesn't have a cooldown. It has a 2-minute cooldown now. I mean, it always had. I was playing a little bit too much TVC there. It doesn't have a cooldown. It costs 20k mana, sure. But I use that maybe once or 0 times during the whole game. So I don't really need a 50% mana reduction to that. It's pretty useless. Dispel magic, 10%. Yeah, what is 10% going to do to me? Am I going to dispel 10 times and, oh, I'm going to be happy? Oh, yeah, I got a free dispel. That's like 10% discount. Like, who cares? Who cares, right? Twin Disciplines. Yeah, 2% more damage and healing. Very nice. I take it. Because as a Holy Priest now, I forgot to mention, you're way more of a support class than you were before. Like, last season, when were you really attacking somebody, right? When were you really attacking somebody? Never. Or maybe just very rarely with a Holy Fire proc or something. But now, you can really emphasize on damaging your enemies. You're not going to heal your mates with your damage just like Discipline Priest, but you can reduce the cooldown of Chastise with every smite or Holy Fire you do. And that's insane. Because you can just rotate between stunning, damaging. Like, you're going to be having a blast playing this spec. So that's why we need 3% haste from Dark Enlightenment. And the rest of that, we don't need. We don't need to shackle any undead, you know? That's... Phew, what do we need to do that for? We don't need any duration increase for mind control, because the duration is, first of all, going to get interrupted anyways, and in Arena, going to be heavily reduced. And we don't need 2% leech, because what is 2% going to do to us? We're not playing as a Shadow Priest at PvE right now. You know, we don't need all that leech. So, Inspiration, I kind of felt like we don't need that. 5% less damage taken sounds kind of cool. I don't know. Can you maybe switch that? No, I cannot. So, it's not necessary. 20% of flash heal also heals you. That's pretty cool. You also need that to continue the tree. So, let's not talk about that. Same thing for Shadow Word Death. I really rarely use Shadow Word Death. But you need it to continue this talent tree. So, might as well just take it. And you never know when you sometimes need it. Desperate Prayer, that's your panic button number 1. If you use that, you're gonna get a lot of HP back, especially with this Oracle talent right here. Desperate Prayer lasts an additional 10 seconds, so it's 25% of your HP. That's crazy, right? That's gonna be very nice for 30 seconds then. 30 seconds. Twist of Fate, more heal, more damage. Very nice. And Fade. Fade is your, let's say, one of your best abilities, okay? Because, not because of threat reduction, just ignore what it says there. Just ignore it. You want this. It removes all snare effects. Plus, with this PvP talent, Phase Shift, it avoids all attacks on you for 1 second. I mean, 1 second doesn't sound as much, but imagine, you want to use it as a anti-CC spell, right? You see the mage is casting Polymorph on you. What do? You click Fade just before the spell finishes, and he will not be able to poly you. Same for Fear, same for Sleepwalk, same for everything, okay? Same for Repentance, blah blah blah. That's why you want the Fade reduction, the cooldown reduction of Fade as well. 20%, no, 10% less cooldown on Fade, and that's insane. How much we got then? 20 seconds. So every 20 seconds, you can, if you play it well, get rid of a whole CC, and the enemy DPS will waste their time because in the second and in the time they're casting this CC, they will not be able to damage you, right? Maybe they will try it again. Maybe you can just run around the pillar and LOS them, and they will lose a lot of DPS time. So there we go. We got Desperate Prayer cooldown reduction. Doesn't really matter, right? We got Protective Light, 10% less damage for every flash heal on yourself. Very nice as well. 15% more damage on Smite. This is very important because now, as I told you before, you want to go and spam Chastise. But more about that later. Spectral Illusion, you do not need that because we're not playing PvE here. No PvP player is gonna fall for the trick of making an illusion of your own character model because you are gonna be moving away from this player anyways. He has you on target. We don't want any shenanigans because that doesn't work in PvP. You know, we PvP players, Anyways, 10% more Desperate Prayer health is useless because you're never being targeted. Unwavering Will. 10% more heal from flash here while above 75%. That's cool. Cast time, cast time. You are most of the time going to be at 100% HP because you are just simply not the target. You will never be the target. Or let's say 90% of the time you will not be the target. So you will always have a 10% cast time increase. Is that the right word? Like, would be 10% faster, right? 3% less magic damage taken. I mean, you could take it. I don't know what you could really reduct it from. Does that work? Yeah. If you see you're playing against some caster comp, you could, you know, remove the 10% extra damage from Holy Fire and put it in the 3% less magic damage taken. But, you know, you're not getting any damage anyway, so might as well not use it. Because no caster comp is gonna focus you. If you are being focused by some Destro Warlock and Arcane Mage or Fire Mage or whatever, that's not gonna happen, man. That's wishful thinking. Your mate is gonna get clapped, but you are never gonna be. And then again, we got the fade removal of our snares and Angelic Biowork. That's a panic talent as well. You want to take that, that's pretty cool. And you can decide, do you want to do 3% more damage or do you want to do 3% more healing? I would probably take the healing. I don't know why I even took that. Yeah, I would take the healing. Sure, let me just change that real quick. And that one is going to be a range increase, 50% more range of all the spells. That's a crazy amount. Like we got a 46 yard range, which is super good because the closer you get to your mates to having to heal them, the more vulnerable you are to being CC'd, and you do not want that. That's pretty bad then. And that fade reduces damage you take by 10%. I mean, how long does fade last? 10 seconds. You can use it every 20 seconds, but you only want to use fade when you need it. You don't need those 10% damage reduction because you are never going to use fade if you don't need it, because your mates are going to know, oh, he just used fade for nothing. He's free to get CC'd now. So never use fade if you don't have to. Okay? And let's get over to the Holy Tree now. So there's your bread and butter spell. That's Holy Word Serenity. That's the best spell that you have. So you need to be very careful because it has limited charges. It has 2 charges by nature, but you can regain a charge by casting this cooldown Apotheosis, but we come to this later. We got Sanctify, that's an AoE heal, which also gives you spell interruption immunity if you don't use this talent right here, because that replaces Sanctify with a passive that increases the healing of Holy Word Serenity by 10% and spreads this heal 15% to all of your surrounding mates. So I took that personally, so this spell gets completely removed and replaced by a passive ability. So less buttons for you to remember, less buttons for you to press, and your main heal gets improved. So that's a win-win-win situation. Anyways, we got Guardian Spirit, your another panic button, another hard CD. 60% healing received increase on your mate or on you, and if the target would die, it gets revived with 40% health remaining. So very good CD. And Chastise. We got Chastise. Ooh. 4 seconds stun. Super good. Just use it whenever you can. If you see, oh, maybe you're playing with a rogue, and the rogue wants to kidney the enemy healer, then maybe don't chastise the healer because the rogue will get super angry. So you can just chastise whatever is there. Just do it on whatever is there, right? So if you see, oh, there's a rogue clapping your mate right now. There's a demon hunter clapping your warrior right now. Just some examples, right? You just chastise him. You just chastise him because you will get the cooldown back quicker anyways. It says 40 seconds, but look at this right now. I'm gonna damage this PvP training dummy. Look, 40 seconds, holy fire. 36, 33, it every time you reduce by 2 seconds, and smite. Look at my smite, man. 4 second cooldown reduction with every smite that I cast. I mean, did we wait 40 seconds already? No, but we got Chastise back already, so might as well just stun this guy again. Right? So there we go. No prayer of healing when not playing PvE here. I tried it out and it's really not that beneficial. So, when Guardian Spirit saves the target from death, it does not expire. Super good, super good. You must have it in order to continue the talent tree anyways. So just choose this one out of the two. So, Sensor makes sure that Chastise stuns the target, because if you were not to take this talent, it would just be a disorient. It would just be an, what's it called again? Incap, right? Just an incap. This one, Imperial Blaze, makes your Holy Fire instant cast for 2 times after you cast Chastise. So that's the bread and butter talent as well. Imagine, I don't know, your mates are bursting right now. This is the healer, boom, and now you target the DPS player and you just absolutely smack him. You see, that's a lot of damage. Yeah, again, no AoE healing. We don't want any city AoE. We're not playing PvE Mythics right now. Yeah, that's just a buff for your Serenity, Spirit of Redemption increase, Prayer of Mending, reduces the cooldown of Serenity. Also very nice, very nice. Look at this right now. We got a 40-second cooldown on this, but every time we use Prayer of Mending, it reduces by 4 seconds. Super good, because Prayer of Mending only has 9-second cooldown. That's super good. Increases damage by Holy Fire by 30%. Burning Vehemence, whatever that means. Holy Fire deals 75% of its initial damage on nearby enemies as well. So really good against melee cleave. And really good damage after all. Yeah, like, as I said, you are a really good support class now. This is not gonna heal anybody. But if you see that your mates are topped off, just damage the enemies. You're gonna be super fine. Instead of running around and doing nothing, you know, don't even try to overly CC the healer. You just do damage on his mates. Just gonna drain him in the long game. 40k damage every smite, 45k damage every Holy Fire. Just mess him up. Okay? We don't need this, a crit chance. I don't really care about this. And this one is really useless as well, because every crit you do with a heal gives it 200% extra heal. That's like the normal rate, right? Every crit does twice the amount of the heal, right? Just for any damaging spell, if you crit, it's twice the damage most of the time. I don't really know the maths of this spells really, but it should be always twice. You know, twice the heal, twice the damage. That's the crit rate. But we don't want that because it's just 220%. What am I going to do with that extra 20%? That's like nothing, right? Where did I stop? Cosmic Ripple increase, yeah, sure, heal increase. Divine Hymn. You want to use Divine Hymn whenever you use Spirit of Redemption. So you want to combine that. Use Spirit and then use Divine Hymn, because that's such a long cast. That's a channeling ability, 4 seconds or 5? 4.5. So yeah, This is a really nice AoE heal that you only want to do while in Spirit of Redemption. Super useful, but also super dangerous if you don't use it in Spirit. But yeah, here we go. Light's Resurgence. Your Prayer of Mending has a 12% chance to leave a renew on each target it heals. So we don't have the usual renew anymore. They removed that in Midnight. You get renew from your Prayer of Mending bounces right now. So I may not have it right now, but we have 14 stacks of Prayer of Mending. So each time we take damage, it's just going to bounce around, and everybody will have renew by the end of it. Like, there's no chance that anybody will not have renew. Like, it will appear. It will appear. 12% doesn't sound like much, but it will appear. So, mana reduction does matter. Mana reduction flash heal, that's actually pretty good, because flash heal is really mana intensive, and sometimes you're just going to spam flash heal, right? Like many players will say, oh, if you spam flash here, that's a bad sign. But sometimes, you know, since they removed all of the other spells, you sometimes gotta just spam flash here, man. It's no other way. It's no other way. In Midnight, they removed so many spells. There's nothing you can do. Anyways, cooldown reduction of Divine Hymn, very useful because it now aligns with the Spirit of Redemption talent. So both of them got 2-minute cooldown. So in 2 minutes from now, you can do the same thing again. Really useful. Prayer of Mending, 4% more each bounce. Very good. Healing on allies with Renew, 10% extra. Very nice as well, because as I said, they will have Renew anyways. So that's the crit we don't need, and that's Apotheosis. So this spell is very useful. Gain a charge of Holy Words. So every time you get a stack of Serenity, and you get the cooldown back on Chastise. So let me chastise this PvP dummy. And let me use Serenity on this friendly dummy. And use Apotheosis. Boom. Cooldown is back. And the stack is back as well. And, let's read it again. Increasing the cooldown reductions to your Holy Words by 200%. So, this accounts for Holy Fire and Smite. 4% cooldown reduced, 4-second cooldown reduction for every smite. So we still got Apotheosis, let's use this. Usually it should be 4 seconds, and now? Boom, boom, boom. We already got Chastise again. You saw this? 3 smites, and we got the Chastise back. Super good, super good. Same thing for the Serenity. Cooldown gets reduced by 6 seconds for every flash heal or prayer of healing. We don't use prayer of healing, so it's just flash heal, right? So, every flash heal will reduce the cooldown by 12 seconds then. That's super, super useful. Very nice. So, this is 32 seconds. Use it whenever you see your mates are receiving some burst. And you can use this in an offensive way as well. As I just showed you. With the Chastise. You know, you can stun multiple enemies during this whole duration by just resetting the cooldown of your Chastise always. It's super useful if you have the capacities to do that. If your mates are not getting one shot, you know, you're able to do some off damage right now. It's going to be super useful. Prayer of the Virtuous jumps 2 additional times. Sure, why not? Because it aligns with the other talent. Where is it? 4% more heal for each bounce remaining. So you got 2 more bounces, which is 8%. Okay, so we don't need those. Replicating heal or flash heal. I mean, the heal is minimal. We don't really need that. We can use other talents as well instead of that. Miracle Worker. An additional charge on Serenity. So we got 2. Plus the Apotheosis stack that we got back. So we got 3. Plus fast cooldown reduction. 12%. 12 seconds of extra duration on Apotheosis. Super useful. That's your craziest CD. And Holy Word reduction, cooldown reduction, 15 seconds. Very nice. Prayer of Mending has a 50% chance to not consume a charge when it jumps to a new target. So this makes sense. If it does not consume the charge, this talent gets increased, you know, because it always has more bounces available remaining. Heals 4% more for each bounce remaining. And if the bounces don't go away. It always heals more. So this talent makes a lot of sense. So take it. Take the talent, and the one that comes after that is the healing increase for Prayer of Mending. So you can do nothing wrong with that. You can do nothing wrong with that. So there we go. Desperate times, 20% extra healing on targets below 50% health. Super useful. Take both always. 20% heal because your mates are obviously going to be below 50% most of the time. So you can just heal them once with Holy Word Serenity and boom, top them up to 100%. You know, you can top your mate from 20 to 100% with one Holy Word Serenity. So that's why this is your bread and butter spell. Prismatic Echoes increases the healing done by my mastery by 8%, so 2 times 16%, and renew by 40%. Okay, that's cool, but I don't take that, I rather take something else. I want to take this one instead, 25% more healing for Holy Word Serenity, which is my best spell. This is my best spell. I would marry this spell if I could. And yeah, cooldowns reduced by 10%. I don't really care about that because we can reduce our cooldown quickly anyways. And increase the critical chance of flash heal. Doesn't really matter. The crit doesn't really do much. It's just flash heal doesn't really heal much. It's just a nice thing to do while you have nothing else to do. While you have nothing else to cast right now. Yeah, flash heal reduces cast time of your next prayer of healing. We don't use the AoEs right now. We don't use the AoEs at all. I mean, not right now. We don't use prayer of healing. Just don't look at it. This is the one I talked about before. We do not use Holy Word Sanctify. We use Ultimate Serenity. And it aligns really well with this talent right here. We got Sanctified Ground, which means whenever you cast Holy Word Serenity on yourself or your mate, let me do it on myself. Let me do it on my mate. You see, we got those two big circles. What do? They give me a silence and interrupt immunity. Or, how long was it? 5 seconds. 5 seconds. 5 seconds of immunity. That's crazy, right? You can use that on your Destruction Warlock. You can use that on your mage, on your evoker. You can use that on yourself. That's such a useful talent. You can bait people into silencing you, and they cannot do it because they just didn't know about this talent. Because who the hell knows about this talent? You're gonna know if you're higher rated, but in the end, this is such a nice yeah, such a nice talent. So then we got Divine Image. Your Holy Word summons a Naru at your side. It's kind of, you know, because with the new set bonus that we get from the Blind Oath, look at this 2 set bonus. Casting Benediction, which is this big one right here. Lasts for an additional 3.0 seconds. And its healing and damage increase. Fuck, I'm reading the wrong thing. Casting Benediction has a high chance to summon a Divine Image. And the Divine Image, where is it? Is the Naru. Here it is. That's the Divine Image. So you will get one anyways. You will get one anyways. You don't want to have it twice. I don't really know yet if it overlaps or if it just cancels out. And the 4 set bonus is the Divine Image will last another 3 seconds. And its healing done is increased by 30%. So I hope that the 4 set bonus also accounts for this Divine Image and not just for the one created by the 2 set bonus. It would be very nice, and I would even take this talent if this synergizes with the 4 set bonus. There would be a lot of healing, I think. I'm not taking it yet. I don't have the 4 set bonus yet, but I think I will keep you guys updated if it really works with the 4 set bonus. I would take this Divine Image talent then, but for now, I'm still waiting for the reset to get my to convert my shoulders to a PvE set as well. Anyways, where did we stop? Holy Word Serenity applies 15 seconds of renew. It's good, it's good. Is it the same as this one? It's the same. Actually, it's not the same. You see this? This one says 11,700 and this one says 1,600 over 21 seconds. So I wonder if this is a double renew. Let's find it out. Ultimate Serenity applies 7.5 seconds of renew to allies and heals. Sure. And then we got Benediction. Every time you cast Flash Heal, you have a chance to upgrade. Every time you cast Prayer of Mending, this one right here, Prayer of Mending, you have a chance to upgrade your Flash Heal, causing it to heal 30% more. And rank 2 just gives you all healing increased done by 12%, which is super nice. You want to have that. And now to the banger. Do you want to take Oracle or do you want to take Archon? In the beginning, because I didn't know any better, like some days ago, I took Archon and I was playing with Halo. But it's a cast, right? It's a cast. It's only 1.3 seconds, but if there's a warrior and a rogue on your ass, they're gonna interrupt that really quickly. So this whole talent, the whole Archon talent tree is focused around Halo. You see, casting Halo does this. Where is it again? Halo, here, Divine Halo, it's even called Halo. Another Halo talent. Another Halo talent. Everything is centered around Halo. Creating a Halo does this and that. Halo does this and that, but it has a minute cooldown. I mean, it does last for a good 15 seconds because it bounces back and forth, right? But in the meantime, while you don't have Halo, or maybe you get interrupted, this whole talent tree gets nullified. It's useless by then. So I rather use Oracle. You see? Prayer of Mending gets an additional charge. Prayer of Mending gets a heal increase again, a heal increase, because Prayer of Mending is our bread and butter spell. You see how many talents we just put into increasing our Prayer of Mending. So why wouldn't we take the Oracle spec, right? Renew gets a increased duration, Prayer of Mending increase again, Serenity increase again. It's not always centering around Halo, because if everything centers around one spell and it fails, what do you think will happen? Right? Casting Prayer of Mending applies Power Shield. That's kind of cool. Leap of Faith 2 times. That's very nice. Imagine you pull your mate over because he's in danger. He gets gripped back by a DK, for example. You just grip him back. You just play ping pong with your mate. That's a very nice thing. It saved my mate's asses a couple of times. So, Guiding Spirit lasts 2 additional seconds, very nice as well. Holy Word reduction 5 seconds, super good. Desperate Prayer 10% more seconds, also very nice if you are the target for once. Prayer of Healing heals your target, yeah, sure. 20% overhealing gets redistributed, also very nice. So you see, this tree is useful for every spell you have. While Archon is mostly, I mean, it does increase your flash heal by 10%. It does do some shenanigans with the Psychic Scream, creating an image that will Psychic Scream again, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who will stay at this image anyways, because your enemies will run away, right? It's all centered around Halo, so that's what makes it really bad. So, yeah. You want to take Oracle. And now to the PvP talents. What I like to take is Sanctified Ground, obviously. So you get the Interrupt immunity. Then an absolute must is Phase Shift. So you can bait players into CCing you, but they will not actually be able to CC you if you time it correctly. And then we got Spirit of the Redeemer. Without this talent, you would only get Spirit if you died. But if you die, the game's over. So you want to take Spirit of the Redeemer, so you can manually just cast Spirit and then Divine Him. That's the bread and butter. Yeah, come. Take a shot every time I say bread and butter. You can also take Psychic Shroud. If your Psychic Scream affects one or more players, the next CC against you is prevented. Lasts only 6 seconds, sadly. It lasts only 6 seconds. It's not like the Shroud that Evoker used to have. But it is very situational. I would use those 3 talents whenever I have the opportunity. But Greater Heal is a 3-second cast. You will never be able to cast that one through. Leap of Faith Heal is kind of useless. There's some... any of those is better. Purification, you don't want to dispel twice, like what's the reasoning behind that? And a minute less cooldown on MD is kind of useless as well. So what do you want? What do you want? You obviously want to take those three, because if you have a full melee cleave comp running towards you, you know they're gonna absolutely shred you. Sure, take Psychic Shroud, fear them. You can probably get a heal through without being stunned or whatever. But in my opinion, it's way better to just have Sanctified Ground. Just like that, sure. And that's it with the talents. Go take Oracle, and go think about if you want to take MC or 6% stamina. And I think we covered everything. That was a long coverage of the talents. But I really hope it did something for you. So let's continue with the gems and the enchantments, and I hope we'll get through this quickly. Let's talk a little bit about the stats, okay? What you want is Verse, Mastery, and Haste. You do not want any crit, you do not want any leech. You want Verse, Master, Crit. Verse, obviously, because it's kind of the PvP stat. Mastery you want in case you get CC. Look at this. Your direct healing spells heal for an additional 17.5% over 4 seconds. So imagine you get CC'd, but you still healed your mate for a lot, right? Let's heal myself. And look at this buff right here. 7.1k every 2 seconds. That heals whenever I get CC'd as well, so it doesn't matter. It's really nice. It's really nice to have. So if you have a couple of hots and a couple of things on your mates, they will always get healed continuously. And Mastery increases that. Also increases healing of Renew, which is another, heal that you do not have to cast. And Haste is always useful whenever you want to smite somebody, you want to Holy Fire somebody, you want to flash heal somebody whenever you need it. Always nice to do that quickly, because those spells can actually be interrupted and be a pain in the ass once you cannot cast any holy spells anymore. Okay, so let's continue with the gems right now. I already made myself some very nice epics, and I decided to gem them with Verse and Mastery. Flawless. The gems are called Flawless, but you can also buy Haste and Mastery. It won't really matter. Just do what you prefer. Haste or Mastery, Verse or Mastery. Just take what you want. But what do you not want to miss is the cognitive heliotrope. Whenever your opponent fails to interrupt you, you got precognition, which is a buff. I don't really know how long it lasts. Is it 2 seconds or 3 seconds? It's basically making you stun immune and interruption immune. So very useful to have this gem. Plus it gives you 23 intellect as well. And yeah, it's a must-have. It may be a bit expensive right now. It's like 8k. But let's continue with the enchantments, right? What you want is 41 intellect, 4% mana on your legs. It is called, let me search it really quickly. I forgot what it's called. Current expansion, it is called Arcano Weave Spell Thread. 4% maximum mana is actually huge. It's huge. So, what else do we want? We want Enchant Boots, Fast Riders Hunt. It's speed increase and stamina. You want Enchant Ring, Amani Mastery twice. On the weapon, I need to look to my other screen. You want Acuity of the Renderer. It's another intellect increase. On your chest, you want Mark of the Magister, which is another mana increase, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's a primary. No. It's a mana increase and a primary stat increase. 5% mana is insane, right? So we are already at 9% mana increase, which is a lot of healing. And on my head, I got Hex of Leeching. It's better than nothing. Whenever I do some smites, I have 0.48% leech. I mean, take it or leave it. You can leave it if you want. It doesn't really matter. But I took this one as well. And what you want, what is it called again? Embellishment, right? You want to take the Cool Z one, which is giving you extra verse. I got that on both of my rings. So I have a chance to increase my verse by 112 every time I cast a healing spell, which is very nice because, as I said, verse is the PvP stat. Okay, that's it with the gems and enchantments and whatnot. And now the big question, how difficult is Holy Priest actually? Is it difficult? How does it actually perform in arenas? When I say this is one of the best healers right now, and also one of the easiest, and not even one of the easiest, in my humble opinion, it is the easiest healer in the game as of now. You cannot compare it to Resto Shaman, Press Evoker, Resto Druid. You can. It's not comparable. It's not even comparable to Holy Pally, you know? This is the easiest healer. If you want to get into healing PvP in Midnight, go play a Holy Priest. You can maybe ramp it up later and go play Resto Shaman, maybe play Discipline Priest. But even the difference between Holy and Discipline Priest is insane. Like, I will say that Discipline Priest is way harder to master than Holy Priest. Because look at me. I got maybe three healings. Yeah, 3 heal buttons. And I got a few CDs. Sure, okay. Seems very simple. You got a permanent movement increase. And you got ways to remove and prevent CC. So I would put Holy Priest in S tier for super easy, but super efficient, okay? Very nice healer indeed, very nice healer indeed. And if you want to see me play this healer, and to see actually how it performs and everything, I'm gonna be an asshole now, because I'm uploading shuffle games every day. You can go check them out. And with that being said, I think I covered most of the things, if not all of the things, you need to know about Holy Priest in order to beat some noobs and reach some decent rating. Go get them titles, big boy. Go get that challenger rival. Go get that duelist. Go get that elite. Okay? So, I wish you good luck on your journey. Write me some nice comments if this was actually useful for you or if it was complete garbage. And I see you on the next one. Go hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. And I hope you enjoyed. Yeah. Bye-bye.